Guys, today I'm going to be going over a my five favorite Wallbreakers, and these sets are very useful, especially when climbing higher in the OU ladder. There are many walls, and they're very hard to overcome. So the ones I have here is there are many different ways to wall break. The first one is status moves, including taunt. And my first one is a taunter. This one is Mew. Mew is this is basically the Mew set that I used: Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Roost, and Psychic. Oops. Now this set is used more on Pokemon that are able to trap other Pokemon. For example, Shadow Tag Wobbuffet or Shadow Tag Gothitelle. But this Mew, Wobbuffet won't be able to learn these moves, but Mew can trap, for example, a Blissey or Chansey, and you Will-O-Wisp and taunt them so that they cannot recover or heal Bell, and the only way for them to get rid of the status is Natural Cure. And by doing all of this, you'll have your opponent's Blissey or Chansey at half health, which will be easier to KO later on. And I've seen this work very well in competitive battling, especially in higher level. Um, the next one is the next one is Heatran. This is my favorite Heatran build, and I use it in my own team. Um, Now, Heatran is obviously a special type attacker or special tank, and the obvious switch into Heatran would be a Chansey, and this is why this Heatran works so well. Well, not just Chansey, any special tank. For example, I don't know. They're not. Most of them are fairy types, so that wouldn't be a common switch in. But Heatran with leftovers, and the moves is Magma Storm. So this will trap Chansey, and then you could taunt it so that it cannot use any recovering moves or whatever wall that you're facing cannot use any recovery moves. Then you go for the Earth Power Flash Cannon. In this case, I go for Earth Power, and I like having Heatran holding Stealth Rocks because I don't have any other Stealth Rock setter on my team. But other moves that can be used when I do have another Stealth Rock on my team, you can go for the Will-O-Wisp because once you're shooting your Heatran, there a lot of easy counters that will switch in. Probably Landorus, Excadrill, not Excadrill because they might take a Magma Storm, but any sort of physical attacker because they know that Heatran will take tank in any special defense attack. So you could predict that and go for the Will-O-Wisp, and that really cripples their attack, and they're practically useless in the entire game. So that's why this Heatran works so well. Um, Also, as you Magma Storm and Taunt, and you could also Will-O-Wisp to get 2 extra chip damages from Magma Storm and Will-O-Wisp, which will eventually KO the Pokemon. So Heatran is a very good counter against those special type tanks. Now, we have another one, Starmie. Starmie is a very different one. This is not really a wall breaker. It only specifically goes against Ferrothorn and surprisingly Bisharp and Sizor. So it's a wall in its own way, but it's also, has some, different sets that you could use, but this is the one that I use. It's not a sweeper. This is more of your rapid spinner and um the Pokemon that you try and get burns off other Pokemon. So this is Starmie. What you want to do is you get obviously Rapid Spin. That's your first move to get those entry hazards off of the place, I guess, so you don't get Hurt from entry hazards, and Scald for burn damage. Recover to recover your health, and this is the move that I recently, well not recently, but when this is the move that convinced me to start using Starmie. Reflect type. This can also be used on Latias, and I think Latias or Latios. I think Latias. Reflect type, so it becomes the same type as a target. So for example, Ferrothorn, he will want to leech seed you, set up his rocks and spikes. So what you do is you set in your reflect type, you copy his grass steel, and therefore he cannot leech seed you. No grass type can spore you, stun spore you, whatever, that gets kind of annoying. And so this is a very good counter against those leech seeders. And also you can use it against Bisharp because it's slow. You could reflect type as it tries to go for knockoff. Then you can recover and spam Scald until it gets burnt, and GG. So for this, and also Sizor. For this set, I run 216 because it does not need to outspeed anything else, and we need a lot of EV EVs on the HP and defense to take in some hits. It holds up surprisingly well against a lot of threats with this Starmie build. It is actually not that flimsy. So those are the three ones so far, and the next one is Talonflame. Talonflame's a bit harder to use, I feel, in OU because of its surprisingly, well, because of its, obviously because of its fire and flying, and Stealth Rocks is very common in OU, which is why it could be, you should pair it up with a Rapid Spinner or Defogger. I recommend Rapid Spinners because Defog will get rid of your Stealth Rock also as well, and I just find that Defog usually wastes like a slot in the move when I use Latias or Latios because I really want more coverage. So this is Talonflame, and the set that I use here is Taunt, Bulk Up, Roost, and Brave Bird. So you really want a special defense here, but again, we really need some speed, and that really won't work. So what most people just do is just give that much speed because it only needs to be able to taunt walls because usually only walls set up. So yeah, that's about it. And so you spam bulk up while your special defense is pretty high. It could take in a bunch of hits, and you can taunt so that other Pokemon cannot recover or set up on you. And the item is leftovers. So that's your Talonflame build. It works well against walls because it could taunt, as well as Heatran with the taunt and mute with taunt also. So that is basically some good wall breakers that I like to use. Other Pokemon that you could use for wall breaking include Pursuiters and other moves, other abilities or moves that trap Pokemon, including Magnezone with Magnet Pull to trap mainly Ferrothorn and Sizorb, and use Hidden Power Fire to OHKO them. You do not want to trap Heatran, obviously, because it's a fire type and it can destroy you. So the last wall breaker that we have here is very common. It's a very common build, I feel, in OU, and it's Shadow Tag. So you could trap anything except another Gothitelle with Shadow Tag, or Wobbuffet, or anyone with Shadow Tag, which is basically those two families. And the item here is Choice Scarf. And what you want to do is you Choice Scarf and then you trick. So you switch it in against a Chansey and you trick. And then this set can be altered. Some sets just have all out attacking. But my set, well, I mean, the usual set is a Calm Mind. Psychic, and I think Shadow Ball set. So basically, for this set, it's just you want to set up and sweep. You trick against Chansey, give him a choice scarf, or you can switch in against a Fortress or a Sparathorn, anyone that you know is probably going to set up the Stealth Rocks or Spikes. You trick, give them your scarf, and then you can just spam Calm Mind because they are trapped, they cannot leave, and they can only use one move, which will be setting up the entry hazards. And you just spam Calm Mind, and then in the end, you trick, get your scarf back, and you can start sweeping the team. This works very well, but it's a problem if they have a dark type Pokemon, which Psychic obviously won't work. So you can use Shadow Ball or any other special move, but I just chose Shadow Ball because with times 4 special attack, Shadow Ball most likely will do a lot of damage, if not OHKO the dark type Pokemon. But this is the one. This set is more commonly used because in OU later on, there are probably a lot of other Pokemon that can counter this set pretty well, I guess. So tricks, Psychic, Shadow Ball. So you trick and then you just spam Psychic until Chansey dies, and then you can have any special move. Let's just take a look. Well, I guess choose whatever you want, but yeah, this set works very well. So, for example, I'll just choose Thunderbolt. So this set works very well against preventing those entry hazard setters to set up and just using that against them. Talonflame is good for taunting and setting up on its own. Starmie is good to counter those who Leech Seed, mostly grass type tanks. And Heatran is a taunt Magma Storm trapper, similar to Gothitelle. And Mew is basically on its own, just not allowing tanks to heal up. So that is basically the Wallbreakers we have for today. Thank you guys for watching. That's the end of today's video.